Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Frankfort Village Board. It's Tuesday, July 6, 2021. And I'd ask if our clerk, Katie Schubert, would take the roll, please.
Mayor Ogle.
Here.
Trustee Ledden.
Here.
Trustee Zaveria.
Here.
Trustee Farina.
Here.
Trustee Petro.
Here.
Trustee Borelli.
Here.
Trustee Rossi.
Here.
Attorney Lamore.
Present.
Attorney Mahoney.
Here.
Chief Barika.
Present.
Village Administrator Pisha.
Present.
And Clerk Schubert. All present.
Thank you. If you'd all stand with me and cite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda tonight is what we call the unanimous consent agenda. And all items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There is no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. So we do have an issue that we may want to consider here, and I do ask if anyone would like to remove an item.
I believe there are people here to discuss Abri Credit Union Lot 3. You want to remove that?
Yes, thank you. And so we will remove the Abri Credit Union so that there can be some discussion on that before there's actually a vote taken tonight. The next items on here, we have the approval of the minutes, and then the next would be the approval of the bills and the payroll, and for that we'll go to Trustee Savaria.
Did you want to get a motion to remove that item and a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, thank you, Trustee Petro. All right, so we had a motion by Trustee Savaria, and we have a second by Trustee Petro to remove the item.
And I will motion to approve the consent agenda with the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
So can we get a vote on removing the item E2, which would be the Abri Credit Union?
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Yes.
Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
Trustee Ledden.
Yes.
Trustee Zaveria.
Yes.
Trustee Farina. Yes. Motion carries.
Okay, and then a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with that item removed.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Petro, and then we have a second by Trustee Rossi. Okay. So at this point, we now go to the Trustee Savaria for the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bills are all routine in nature and equal $647,885.71. Some of the line items of interest tonight are: we had $12,440 to Bill's Landscaping for municipal mowing, $145,954.72 for the July health insurance premium, and $13,404.46 to PT Farrell for road maintenance. And that concludes the bills this evening.
Thank you, Trustee Savaria. Next, we're going to go to Trustee Petro, which will be Committee of the Whole report about the replacement vehicles for the police.
Thank you, Mayor Ogle. Tonight we have one item from the Committee of the Whole report about the Police Department Replacement Vehicle Purchase Approval Resolution. So at our June 1st, 2021 meeting, the Committee of the Whole reviewed a request from the Police Department to purchase 4 2021 Ford Utility Police Interceptor all-wheel drive hybrid vehicles. The vehicles would be purchased through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative under contract number 152 at a cost of $45,451 each. This expenditure for the police vehicles is included in the fiscal year 21-22 budget, and the cost includes the vehicle base price, options, equipment, and installation of emergency equipment. It was a consensus of the committee to forward a recommendation to the village board to authorize the purchase of 4 vehicles from Curry Motors of Frankfort as presented. The motion before us is to accept the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole and adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Curry Motors of Frankfort for the purchase of 4 2021 Ford Utility Police Interceptor all-wheel drive hybrid vehicles at a cost of $45,451 each, for a total amount of $181,804, which includes the vehicle base price, options, equipment, and installation of emergency equipment. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Next, we will go to trustee Farina, which is about an IEP loan agreement, which is very exciting for our community.
Definitely, Mayor. The Village of Frankfort has been approved to receive a loan in the amount of $1,840,535 from the State of Illinois Environmental Protection Agency for the village's lead service line replacement program. The project is financed from the Water Revolving Fund with 100% principal forgiveness. The project will include removal and replacement of approximately 200 lead service lines throughout the village, replacing the service line from the water main to the residential water meter. Construction will commence during late summer of 2021 and completed by the end of 2022. Participation in this program is completely voluntary but is encouraged. The work has an approximate value of $9,000 per service line and will be provided at no cost to the village or to the property owner. In fact, letters have already been sent out mid-February to residents who can opt into this program, and we'll have a follow-up letter sent shortly. And in the coming weeks, an open house will be held to provide additional project details and offer an opportunity for affected property owners to ask questions regarding this important program. And I just want to thank Rob Pisha, our village administrator, and Zach Brown, our utilities director, who have worked very hard to inform the public and organize this opportunity for the village. So the motion before us this evening is to adopt a resolution accepting the loan offer by the State of Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and authorizing the execution of the loan agreement for drinking water project IL173465 in the amount of $1,840,535 for the support of the efforts relating to the village's lead service line replacement program. That's all, Mayor Ogle.
Thank you, trustee Farina. And just to make a note here, none of the Village of Frankfort's water mains contain lead. This is so very clear on that. Now we have some plan commission items, and the first one will be we'll go to trustee Rossi, and it'll be on the re-subdivision final plat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Gadam re-subdivision final plat contains lots 143 and 144 for approval. Applicant Vinamani Gadam owns lots 143 and 144 within Lighthouse Point Phase 2 and proposes to consolidate the lots to create a larger parcel in order to build a new single-family home. To accommodate the proposed home, the applicant requests approval of the final plat of re-subdivision. May 13th, 2021, the Plan Commission forwarded a unanimous recommendation to the board to approve the final plat of re-subdivision. So the motion will read, accept the Plan Commission recommendation and approve the plat of re-subdivision of lots 143 and 144 in Lighthouse Point Phase 2, to be known as Lot 1 in the Gadam re-subdivision, prepared by Gingrich, Giroux, and Associates, dated June 17th, 2021, in accordance with the reviewed plans and conditioned upon the final engineering approval.
Thank you, trustee Rossi. The next item on here that would be on the agenda is one that we've removed, and we'll be discussing that after we take the vote on the consent agenda. So what comes before us next is Village Administrator Employment Agreement. And the agreement between Village Administrator Rob Pisha and the Village of Frankfort comes before the board this evening for approval. The agreement sets forth the professional services to be provided by the Village Administrator, terms of compensation, and other general employment provisions for the position. And the motion is to approve the execution of an employment agreement between the Village of Frankfort and our Village Administrator, Rob Pisha. Also at this time, we'd like to request the consent as mayor, request the consent and approval of the Board of Trustees to appoint John Barica to the position of Assistant Village Administrator, effective immediately. John has served as the interim Assistant Village Administrator since December of 2020 and previously served as an interim in 2017. He will provide oversight of the police department until a new police chief is named. John brings over 26 years of local government experience, including the past 23 years with the Village of Frankfort and almost 11 years as police chief. He holds a master's degree in public administration from Governor State University and a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Illinois State University. John has served on numerous village and Will County committees and is always looking for new opportunities and methods to best serve our community. He has been an exceptional leader, and we are grateful for his leadership and his continued commitment to Frankfort. So the motion is to approve the appointment of John Barica as Assistant Village Administrator for the Village of Frankfort. Those are the items from the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All right, Madam Clerk, can you take the vote, please?
Trustee Burley?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Letton?
Yes.
Trustee Severia?
Yes.
Trustee Farina?
Yes.
Trustee Petrov?
Yes.
All right. And I would also like to vote yes, just to put that on there. I have great confidence in our leadership and our staff here. So we now get to the point where we pulled off a discussion of Abri Credit Union, but first let's go to Trustee Borelli for a little background on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Abri Credit Union is under contract to purchase Lot 3 in the Vineyards of Frankfort Retail Center and proposes to construct a new 2,550 square foot standalone bank facility on the vacant out parcel located at 20553 South LaGrange Road. The project will feature a 3-lane drive-up component on the eastern side of the parcel behind the proposed structure and will be shielded from view from LaGrange Road. Abri Credit Union currently occupies a tenant space within the Vineyards of Frankfort Commercial Plaza and will relocate upon completion of construction. To facilitate construction of the proposed bank project, the applicant requests the granting of a major PUD change and a special use permit for a drive-up service facility. At the June 24th, 2021 public hearing on the project, the Plan Commission reviewed the proposed site, landscape, architectural, photometric, parking, and directional signage plans for the project. The Commissioners forwarded 2 unanimous recommendations to the Village Board to approve the major PUD change and special use request with conditions. The Village has since received a revised site plan and building elevation drawing based upon comments and conditions from the Plan Commission. The revised site plan illustrates 2 do not enter signs near the exit of Abri drive-through lane. It also notes that pavement markings, including arrows, striping, and hatching, will be painted on the pavement on the Abri site to help direct traffic. The building elevation drawings note that the rooftop mechanical units will be screened from all view on all sides, placed within a cavity at the top of the sloped roof. So there's 2 motions before us tonight. The first is to waive the first and second readings and pass an ordinance granting a major planned unit development change to permit the operation of Abri Credit Union on Lot 3 of the Vineyards of Frankfort, located at 20553 South LaGrange Road, in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony, conditioned on final engineering approval, that the rooftop mechanical equipment shall be appropriately screened from view, compliance with the landscape ordinance, including additional trees along LaGrange Road, and upon the inclusion of pavement markings and directional signage for the one-way eastbound drive aisle to be depicted on the plans and subject to staff review and approval. So I'll actually make that motion.
Okay. I think we probably will handle both of these at the same
Should I
time.
do them both at the same time?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And we'll do 2 separate votes on them, but we also want to allow the both parties to comment and make
Sounds
their case.
good.
Thank-
Okay.
Thank you, Trustee Borelli.
Sure. The second motion is then to accept the Plan Commission recommendation, waive the first and second readings, and pass an ordinance granting a special use permit for a drive-up service facility to permit the operation of Abri Credit Union on Lot 3 of the Vineyards of Frankfort, located at 20553 South LaGrange Road, in accordance with the reviewed plans and public testimony, conditioned on final engineering approval, that the rooftop mechanical equipment shall be appropriately screened from view, compliance within the landscape ordinance, including additional trees along LaGrange Road, and upon the inclusion of pavement markings and directional signage for the one-way eastbound drive aisle to, I feel like that's the same exact motion I just read.
Similar, a PUD and then a special use.
God, the special, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Some
In
similar
order-
wording.
okay. Eastbound drive aisle to be depicted on the plans and subject to staff review and approval. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, thank you. Now, if we can hear from the 2 parties here.
Do you want a second?
I'm sorry?
You want a second? You had a motion?
Oh.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. We'll start with, you're representing Abri? Yes. Please come on up. Thank you.
Good evening, thank you. My name's Dave Grobart. I'm attorney for Abri on this project, and I have Brian Settergren, the president and CEO of Abri. I wasn't expecting to make a presentation, but I'm happy to give a little bit of background and answer hopefully any questions that you have. We initially put this parcel under contract probably in October, maybe September last year. Have been working diligently with staff. They have been very helpful in providing comments and alternatives to various site plans on a site that's relatively tight for the facility to accommodate not only the Dunkin' Donuts, but all the neighboring parcels. Abri has been in their current location in Frankfort for over 20 years, serving the community. They're excited to have a new facility. They require the drive-through component of the facility to remain competitive with the other operations and banking and financial institutions in the area. We've originally had contacted the adjacent Dunkin' Donuts owners through our seller to discuss with them any access issues through the parcel beginning in November of last year. I have repeatedly tried to be in contact throughout that entire period with the Dunkin' Donuts people and their council. We had never received a response to any of our requests or any of our proposals or plans until I believe the June, or maybe it was May, meeting for planning approval on the plan, where that afternoon we received detailed objections to plans that had been in the works for probably 6 months at that point. Because of that, and wanting to work with who's going to be our neighbor and work out a plan that would work for everyone, we pulled the plan at that time, tried to go through a number of reiterations of the drawing to accommodate as many of the concerns as we could. We've worked with staff in the village, and we believe we've come up with a plan that is fair from Abri, works for our neighbor, and will allow both of us to prosper and succeed at that location. We are not trying to impact their business. In fact, we have different hours of operation. We don't open till 9 o'clock, for example. Their busy time for stacking is early in the morning for coffee and breakfast. We generally close at 5 or 6 o'clock. We have minimal employees at the site that will park in a parking easement off-site. We think we have actually accommodated the site to our own detriment in many ways to try and make sure there's passing lanes to allow for the continued non-interference and operation of their drive-through and for their business to continue to succeed, and which is what we want. And we're hoping, at this point that we've done everything we can to try and, take into account all the interests, appease planning and all the requirements, which I think we have, and build a facility that I think my client will be proud of, and I think the community will welcome.
All right. So, thank you, sir. Do we have any questions from board members?
I have
Trustee
a
Ledden.
question. I was on the Plan Commission when this first came before it, and I was just curious, did you give any thought to putting the drive-through on the south side of the building so that it was away from, because the parking lot where Dunkin' Donuts is just gets so congested?
We did look at that. We had our design built for look at it numerous times on how do we situate this building, and really there was an issue specifically regarding getting the fire truck through. If I remember right, Chris, we wanted to accommodate and be sure that we could make the turn for the fire truck, and that was an accommodation that certainly Chris helped us work through, and so we looked at turning this thing every which way we could to accommodate all the different access pieces, and I think that what we've come up with and what our design build firm presented, what is a good one, and certainly the Planning Commission was unanimous in saying, yeah, let's go ahead and move forward. We've we've been in Frankfort for a long time, and we want to continue to be in Frankfort for a long time, and this is a great opportunity for us to continue to serve our members. So we're excited about this, and we certainly don't want to upset anybody at Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, I like their donuts as much as anybody, but we feel like this is a great site for our members, and we can really add value to the village in going there. So.
All right.
I've sat through several of the Plan Commission meetings, and I too would recognize, two long-term Frankfort business owners here. And one, thank you for clarifying the employee parking in the off-site easement, because that was one question I had that kind of came back following that last meeting. And two, I want to take this time to recognize our Plan Commission. I know that you all have, worked with them, but they have just been busy with lots of public hearings and workshops. I know you participated in several, and the feedback, I think, has helped shape the community and helped shape this particular project immensely. And some of those late nights, especially last week, don't go unnoticed. So just want to shout out to them as well.
We completely agree.
Yeah, they've been great to work with, and hopefully we presented something that, and Chris and his group has been great to work with. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks to all of you.
Any other comments? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mr. Huglet?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Board. Thank you for the opportunity to address the Board. I know this was on consent agenda, so appreciate you taking it off. I represent the Dunkin' Donuts, which is the property right next to the subject property. Been there over 20 years, and good neighbors and a good business for the community. We have primarily three objections. The first one is from a planning standpoint. There's currently an easement that runs around the north side of the Dunkin', and then south along the east side of this property that was created on the plat for purposes of easement and egress, an easement for ingress and egress to all these properties. From a planning standpoint, what this plan does is it runs all of the traffic into the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, and there's no easement for that allowed. Nothing is recorded. That particular driveway is the entrance point to the Dunkin' drive-up lane, and it's the exit when you exit the menu board. So it's going to create much congestion. One of the standards for approval is that the approval won't substantially impair the neighboring properties, and we would submit that this traffic will depreciate the value of the subject property. In terms of easement, there isn't any. So this project was approved some time ago as a PUD without any kind of reciprocal easement that enables legally the credit union to use this property. And so the plan that's been reviewed by the Plan Commission and recommended for approval has a deficiency of parking spots on site and purports to use an easement off-site for parking. I think that easement is in your packet. The easement that I saw is not signed. There's no legal description. It's not recorded. It's deficient in many legal respects in terms of creating an easement. So I don't think that would hold up. Also, from a planning standpoint and related to parking, the entrance to this credit unit the front door would be in the very northwest corner, which is right next to the Dunkin' Donuts. So people who were visiting the credit unit would park in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot and walk to the front door of the credit union. They wouldn't park in the so-called easement area or over east in the parking area. So for those planning reasons, those legal reasons relating to the lack of easement and the impact on Dunkin' Donuts, we would respectfully request the board not to approve these changes. And if it was so inclined to approve it with conditions, I would ask the board to add the condition that it be subject to legal review as well as engineering review. Happy to answer any questions on it.
Trustee Farina, please.
Thank you for your testimony, yours as well. Is this something that we could perhaps table and there's interest to further discuss so the two parties can come to an agreement?
If this was a number of months ago, no problem. We had been trying to discuss this for months. We have a contingency on our contract that expires on the 15th of this month. If we do not have approval, we'll be out of contract. I don't know if the deal will proceed or if the seller will extend. We had been willing and had been trying to discuss all of these things with the adjacent owner. And to my view, they purposely didn't and waited until we were in for final approval to raise the objections that we could have discussed a long time ago. We are still willing to enter into a specific easement in between and lock down if they would like, no parking. We're not going to park on their site. They've refused to do so. They feel they have more leverage trying to object at this hearing than working it out with us. So, normally it would be no problem, but I'm kind of out of time on the contract. In addition, we do have, as part of that prior approval, this site was approved as a contiguous, integrated unit with access drives all throughout. The platted easement does go around the site, but it also allows for traffic to flow all through and in between the rest of the parcels in this property. I don't know why 25 years ago, somebody didn't finalize the easement that probably should have been finalized and recorded at that time, but there is an easement in place for parking. It's been used. There are access already provided in the original PUD plan, and there's nothing that we're doing that changes that, or in fact, we're trying to make it better for everyone involved. And so for those reasons, I'm not opposed to it, but not having approval tonight may be the end of it for Abri.
Would you support an approval with the condition the gentleman recommended for a legal review?
I would be happy to review legal, but if it's going to require, I'm not sure, because if we have legal review that determines we have to get an easement from them that we don't feel is required, or that we've requested, they'll have succeeded in pushing us past our contingency, and we couldn't go past contingency without that being resolved. So I think they've just thrown up a number of things that try and create an issue at the last minute simply for this purpose, hoping that the project will die by their delay. And I think that may happen if we don't get approval.
I appreciate your feedback.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. We have two separate motions here, so that we have to make them. Madam Clerk, who made the first motion? We'll address it.
Trustee Borelli.
Trustee Borelli, and then a second by Trustee Petro.
Yes.
So that is the first motion that we'll be looking at and discussing at this point. And we'll have a separate motion and a second for the other one. All right, so on motion number one, is in your packet. Is there any further discussion from the board? All right. Madam Clerk, would you take the vote, please?
Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
Trustee Lennon.
Yes.
Trustee Severia.
Yes.
Trustee Farina.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, our second motion on here, can we get a motion and a second to go forward? Trustee Borelli with the motion.
Second.
Trustee Petro with the second. All right, any further discussion? All right, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Lennon.
No.
Trustee Severia.
Yes.
Trustee Farina.
Yes.
Trustee Petro.
Yes.
Trustee Borelli.
Yes.
And Trustee Rossi.
Yes.
Motion
All
carries.
right, motion carries. All right, thank you, everyone. So the next item on here is what we call the mayor's report. And got a couple fun things now that we're kind of opening the town back up. And first one is the movie on the green. The second of the 3 movies on the green events is scheduled for Wednesday, July 13th. The feature film is Trolls World Tour, which is a PG film, and it will begin at dusk at Brighter Green. The Kiwanis Club of Frankfort will pop and distribute popcorn that night. We also have a restoration work day that's scheduled at Prairie Park. The village is partnering with the Conservation Foundation to host a restoration work day at Prairie Park on Saturday, July 24th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Volunteers who are 14 years and older are needed to remove invasive plant species. Participants should wear long-sleeve shirts and long pants. Gardening gloves and tools will be provided. Students can also earn community service hours by doing this. Please contact Sue Lynchy at 469-2177 to sign up. The Frankfort Park District is hosting its annual short day on a long run, the 5K run walk. They did move it, so it's not actually on the long day, but it'll be on Thursday, July 29th, and it's at Main Park, and registration forms are available at frankfortparks.org. We also have on July 31st coming up is their annual rib cook-off event. It'll be in downtown Frankfort. Amateur chefs will cook on site, and a public rib tasting will begin at 12:30 p.m. Ticket sales will begin at noon. Prizes will be awarded for first, second, third, and crowd pleaser. The event is co-sponsored by the Frankfort Area J.C.'s, the Frankfort Lions Club, and the Village of Frankfort. Registration is required for the contestants. The application, rules, and additional details can be found on the village website at frankfortil.org. Here's a save the date. This is one of my favorite events, actually, is the Frankfort Police Department will be hosting its annual Frankfort Night Out Against Crime. The event will be on Tuesday, August 3rd from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Brighter Green. Come out and bring your children and enjoy the games, inflatable play equipment, and the Touch a Truck program. The event is free. The Summer Beautification Awards have gone out. The recipients of the Summer Beautification Awards for Outstanding Landscaping have been finalized. A listing of winners is available on the village website. Congratulations and thank you to all of our residential and business award winners for their beautification efforts. And the weekly calendar for downtown, we have Cruisin' Frankfort is going to continue every Monday night in downtown Frankfort from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The Frankfort Country Market from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Concerts on the Green continue every Sunday from 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. The performing artists for July include this Sunday, July 11th, will be Truman's Ridge, and this one will be provided for by Down Home Guitars and the Frankfort Bluegrass Festival. Sunday, July 18th, which will be Dancing Queen, which is an ABBA cover band. I think they've been here a few times and very good. And then Sunday, July 25th, we have Petty Kings, which is a Tom Petty cover band. I'll be sure to be there for that, one of my favorite groups. And that's it tonight for the mayor's report. And so now we will go to the trustee comments. And we will start actually with our clerk tonight, Clerk Katie Schubert.
I do not have anything to add tonight, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Trustee Ledden.
I just wanted to congratulate Rob and John. Look forward to working with both of you, and I'm glad we were able to get this done.
Trustee Savaria.
I guess that's a ditto for me. Rob, congratulations. I think I've known you since you were a sergeant, so I'm happy to be working on that 4 years with you. And John, congratulations on your AVA position. I guess it's a sad day when you step down as chief, but we'll still have you, so that's a good thing. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Farina.
I'd say ditto. Rob, I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you and to partner with you and your staff on leading our village and supporting our residents. And Chief, thank you for your service as an officer and serving our community in that capacity. We have a wonderful, safe community. The new programs that you put in place are fabulous for our families and our businesses and such. So thank you for your service in that capacity, and I look forward to what you bring as an assistant village manager now. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Petro.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to update that the Historic Preservation Commission actually also met last week and welcomed their new commissioner. They did issue a certificate of appropriateness for what will be the new relocation of Bouquet at 1 North White Street. They had a robust discussion around the plaques that will be ordered for their landmark designation. So we can highly anticipate one of those to be showing up at St. Peter's in one of the recent days. And I also want to recognize our staff. The combination of Mike, Janine, Chris, and their history and experience managing historic preservation is really incredible, and we are blessed to have them in the village of Frankfort. The commission is going to be participating in some educational training and events with the guidance of our staff and working as our certified local government to even obtain some additional grants in the near future as well. So thank you to both the commission and our staff for continuing our historic preservation. And also, I want to recognize Rob. I'm looking forward to continuing working with you as our village administrator. And Chief, I feel like you'll always be Chief. It's going to be hard to change, but I just want to congratulate you on your new appointment to the Assistant Village Administrator. You've shown tremendous leadership as the Chief of Police here at the Village of Frankfort. I've said your voice, it's wonderful in our community as the Chief of Police, and I know that that voice and that vision will just continue here under Rob's leadership. I think you guys will be quite the dynamic duo, and I'm expecting some great things here in the Village of Frankfort.
Trustee Borelli.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too, of course, want to congratulate to Rob and John, and you guys are fantastic. Not only obviously over your decades of experience here, but over this past year, I think we can all agree that nothing's been quite like it, and we've come out alive, and not just alive, but thriving, and it's in large part to both of you guys. So I appreciate it, and looking forward to continuing to work with both of you. And I just wanted to put a plug in for the annual Frankfort Subdivision Charity Softball Challenge. It's sort of a loosely run HOA softball tournament that's run by the HOA that's won it the previous year. And ironically, it was won by Bridges of Mokina, which is the only subdivision that's outside of Frankfort. But it's the bulk of the participants are Frankfort. It's a great community event. The proceeds go to a good cause, picked by the HOA who runs it. So the contact for it is Bridget Murphy at bridgetm@cdw.com. Otherwise, you could also find it on the annual Frankfort Subdivision Charity Softball Challenge on Facebook. So hoping to see good participation. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rossi.
I just wanted to say congratulations to John and Rob. Keep going. You've got the village moving forward. Let's keep it going forward. Thank you. The other thing, I wanted to shout out a thank you to the Park District and all the other community people that donated. The fireworks are fabulous this year. I mean, they were like over my house. I was like 50 feet from them, but it was really good. And they did a great job, and it was one of the better ones I've seen in the last few years.
Thank you, Trustee Rossi. Now we go to is this going to be your last report, John? As the police chief. So, police department report.
Thank you. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the appointment and your support. I'm just looking forward to the new challenges, both personally and professionally, new challenges that will come up and opportunities with this position. I do plan to bring some new things to the village, and working with Rob will be great. I do want to also thank my family for coming out and their support of all the time, and I am just happy that I get to continue to serve the community in this new role. It's a great staff that we have that works here and a great community, so I'm looking forward to it and those new challenges that come along with it. Obviously looking forward to whether or not I'm with the police department, looking forward to the Night Out Against Crime. It's always a great night, good time for the families to come out and see the police and meet the police in a different atmosphere where it's not us with lights on behind you. We're here to talk to you and hear what you have to say. On the note of retirements, I'd also like to congratulate Bob Wilson at the fire chief, is going to be retiring as of July 26th. He is moving on to bigger and better things also. And then obviously remind people to lock your doors, don't leave your keys or key fobs inside your cars, and put your garage doors down every night for the hashtag 9 p.m. routine. That's all I have. Thank you, Chief.
And now we go to Rob Pisha for our village administrator's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First thing, I want to congratulate John on his appointment as Assistant Village Administrator. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with him. I've enjoyed his time as police chief, and I know, again, with the dedication that he has for the village, that he will meet all your expectations as an Assistant Village Administrator. So congratulations, John. Also want to let residents know that our street resurfacing program has begun. Elm Street is currently under, it's kind of a reconstruction, not just a resurfacing, but that part of it, the project has already started. The rest of it, the streets that will be done probably starting the third week of July. We have sent letters, or letters have been dropped off to those residents that may be affected by the street resurfacing. They're also notifying when oil is put down and that kind of thing, just to kind of be aware and use caution. But you can also find the information about the street resurfacing program on our website. There's a little block right there that talks about the program. Also happy to report that all of the trees that were damaged last year's, the torrential or whatever that storm was that took out all of our trees, they have been replanted. So I would just ask residents, if you do have a tree in your front yard, that you can kind of help us out. We do try to get around to water them, but if you could help us out, obviously right now with the extremely hot conditions, to water the new trees in your yard to help them survive. And also want to give a shout out to the board about the lead service line program. I think that is a great thing, entering in the agreement today to be proactive. This was something that started over a year ago with Robinson Engineering to do this proactive program. Again, as we said, it's not lead in our pipes, it's the ones that are from some of the older homes that may have lead service lines. So we hope that residents take full advantage of this, and I think there's also some other caveats to the loan, not so much through the village, but through the revolving loan program that can help residents with some of any restorations and things that may occur inside, so they'd be eligible for that as well. But kudos again to the board for being, with foresight to look forward to this, and again, Robinson Engineering did a great job of spearheading the effort to get this done. So congratulations to everyone. I think again, this is a great thing to make our community safer. And finally, I just want to thank Mayor Ogle and the board for your continued support and the confidence that you've shown in me. And I look forward to continuing to work with everybody and exciting things in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. I have the highest confidence in you, so very excited to move forward. Now we go to our attorneys for the attorney report.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item is other business. Is there any other business to come before the board? Nothing from there. So we go to the next item, which is public comment. Anyone that would like to make public comment before the board?
My name is Richard Karch. I live in Hunter Woods Estates. I feel like the squeaky wheel. I have several copies of a picture of a fireworks mess that was done across the street from me in Hunter Woods. The police came out, gave the homeowner, not the homeowner, the home renter, a citation, and I can give you copies of this, but this is 2 days after. Nothing's been done except Waste Management picked up the box, like 50 boxes of fireworks. Excuse me. Half the people in the neighborhood could keep coming by me and want to know what's going on over there, what's going on over there. I've talked to Adam and Dina and the chief about the situation. They've sent fines over there, charging them $750 to cut the grass, which is obviously a fee and then a fine. But these people don't respond to anything. They could care less what the authorities do or anybody in the neighborhood does. They have total disregard for anybody in the neighborhood. Everybody in that neighborhood takes care of their place, their lawns, their landscaping. This individual does absolutely nothing. It devalues the property values. It demoralizes me. I'm looking at it every day. But at this point, what more can we do to get these people either evicted? I know we don't own the place, but I had sent in last meeting or so a petition that a lot of the residents in Hunter would sign to put in some sort of a renters and owners ordinance or whatever, so these people are inspected and screened somehow. I'm just wondering if anything's been done on that.
Well, I do thank you for your comments. The renters agreements, we are investigating that. There are legal issues involved with that, and our attorneys can do that. And you have your information here. We can contact you as we move forward on that issue.
Well, short of that, I don't know what can be done about this situation. It's not improving, I'll tell you that. I have one more final thing. Harlem Avenue from 30 to 191st is a mess. Weeds growing up in the median, it looks terrible. I know it's a state road, but so is LaGrange and Route 30. And they're decorated or landscaped and look real nice. Can any influence be done from Frankfort to the state, who I assume manages that or maintains that property, to get that place cleaned up with all the weeds? It looks terrible, especially as you're approaching Frankfort. This is what you're looking at, weeds that are 4 feet high. It's
Right, from Harlem to 191st Street.
Harlem on from
Yes.
30 to 191st.
Yes. Yeah.
Drive by, I mean, I'm sure you all see it, but it's.
Sure. We have addressed certain things within the village. We have control over things. And Route 30, where it's gone through there, we have worked with the state where we've put landscaping in areas there. That area is not part of Frankfort, unfortunately.
Doesn't Frankfort border Harlem?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unincorporated.
That part of the road is actually maintained by Cook County. We have reached out to them to continue to do it, to maintain it. The village has tried to, we have done some maintenance on there to try to keep it, looking better. But as the mayor is alluding to, is that when Route 30 was improved, part of the agreement was because they were going to put asphalt medians, the village asked for landscape medians. That's why the village has agreed to maintain it. Unfortunately, the area you're talking about north of Harlem is Cook County. It's not, like you said, it's not in the village itself. It's in unincorporated, and it's a Cook County roadway. I'll be happy to again have Public Works reach out to them to see what we can do. But you're right. It's unfortunate they don't pay any attention to it. We're at the very south end of their area, and it seems like it just gets left.
I know last year I was here and I mentioned it to the board, and within 2 days it was cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody called somebody and got
Correct.
something done.
Yep.
So, anyway, I have multiple copies of these pictures. Dina has pictures. The police officers took pictures. Some of the other residents sent them to, I believe, Adam and or Dina. So I'll leave this with the clerk.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Mr. Bird?
Good evening again, folks. Greg Bird, BARD, on behalf of the Prestwick Homeowners Association. I want to take this opportunity to thank the village for meeting with us this week regarding the short-term rental issue. The meeting was productive. We're looking forward to the continued compliance of the homeowner regarding what was discussed at the meeting. I think the village is aware of what our preferred solution is, and we understand what the village's immediate solution is, so we appreciate that. I will be back in 2 weeks regarding the compliance of this. I don't know if it needs to be put on the agenda. I'd also like you to note that the missing board members of the HOA, most of them are here tonight. And then finally, we look forward to the village's analysis regarding this issue. We do not believe it's the last time it will appear before you. And as I said, we look forward to your commentary about if the issue arises again, what the proper course of conduct should be. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Okay. At this point, we are going to adjourn into an executive session. Discussion of purchase of real property under 5 ILCS 120/2 C5. We will not be taking action on anything in that or when we return. Can I get a motion to go into executive session, please? Trustee Farina, second by Trustee Petro. Madam Clerk, would you call the vote, please?
Trustee Savaria?
Yes.
Trustee Farina?
Yes.
Trustee Petro?
Yes.
Trustee Borelli?
Yes.
Trustee Rossi?
Yes.
Trustee Ledden?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. We'll now be going into executive session, and like I said, we will not be taking any action when we come back.